Hello students, today we will discuss a topic of class 10 physics, but before starting that topic, let us hear a story, a hypothetical story of three friends. The one was me and the another one was my very dear friend Willie, and the third one was my another friend Benza. So we were in the teenage 500 years ago. Do not judge my age in that case. So very long ago, we all three were playing a game of getting an electric shock. What does that game all about? The electric game was one of us have to sit on a plastic chair, and by folding legs on the chair, the other has to hit the chair from the back by using a sweater, and the third one has to touch the one who is sitting on the chair. So in the very first attempt, Willie was sitting on the chair by folding his leg on the chair, and I was hitting the sweater from the back of the chair. And then after, Benza came and touched the Willie. Then what happened? Benza got an electric shock. Then after, in the second attempt, I was sitting on the chair and Benza was hitting the sweater from the back of the chair, and Willie was supposed to touch the person who was sitting on the chair. Then what happened? When the Willie touched the Benza, he again got an electric shock. So the conclusion is, this is creating an electric shock, and thereafter these two wonderful persons created a history and generated a topic called electricity. As I told you, this story is 100% hypothetical. That means these two are not my friends. These two wonderful persons are very great scientists known as Sir William Gilbert and Sir Benjamin Franklin. These two scientists born in very different year. Benjamin Sir born earlier and William Gilbert was born very later, when he was at the age of his death. So they created electricity. How? Then most of the students asked me, sir, what is the date of the invention of electricity? When it came into existence into our real world, when we were able to use electricity in our home appliances. So my dear friends, I would love to tell you, there is no such date defined for the invention of electricity. Then how it came into existence? So very long ago, there was a particle. The particle was a fiber and its name was amber. Amber is a fiber. When you are going to rub amber with a piece of cloth, there will be something spark kind of thing. And the Greek meaning of amber was electric. In the Latin language, it became electric, and from here only this word came into existence, electricity. So amber was the very first particle from where the electricity is generated. And then after, by studying again and again on the very layers for a very long span of time, for the centuries they used, and now we are using electricity in our home, of course. Yes. Now if I'm talking about the electricity, before that, what we are going to learn today. So let's see, my dear friends. By the end of this lecture, you will come to know what is electricity all about. Second, what is the source of electricity? And the characteristics of source of electricity. Its characteristics. This is what we are going to learn today only. So starting from the very first topic, so how we are able to define electricity. What you will be able to learn today, the definition of electricity, types of electricity. Then after we will come towards our second topic, that is called source of electricity. So let us discuss electricity. Students, we are having different forms of energy available in the universe, like heat energy, sound energy, nuclear energy, etc. Similarly, we are having one more kind of energy, that is called electricity. So it is a form of energy. It is a form of energy, right? So I would write it is a form of energy. What are the characteristics of this energy? It can be transmitted from one place to the another for a very long time, for a very long duration, or for a very long distance. So it is a form of energy which can be transmitted over a long distance with minimum loss of energy. So this is the definition, actual definition of electricity. It is a form of energy. It is one kind which can be transmitted over a long distance with a minimum loss of energy. Long distance. So we know that you have already studied in class 8, the electricity is generated from the dam by using a turbine. From there the electricity is generated, and by using conducting wires it is transmitted from dam to the powerhouses, from the powerhouses to the nearby DP of your house, and from the DP to the electric meter which is already there in your houses. Correct, my friends? So it can be transmitted over a very long distance with minimum loss of energy. What is minimum loss in that case? Minimum loss, that means if we are utilizing any of the energy, we are required that it should not waste in a very huge amount. It should be utilized in a very maximum amount. So you are using, for example, you have to consume 100%, at least 1 or 2%. If it is going to waste, then it is okay. But if you have to use any of the energy for 100%, if you are going to waste 50%, that is not good for us, my dear friends. So in that case, the energy which can be transmitted for a very long distance with a very minimum loss of energy, and this is why we are using in a very extensive manner. So this is electricity. What are the types of electricity? There are two kinds. Just concentrate over here. Types. First type and second type. First type is static electricity, and the second one is current electricity. Got it? This is static electricity and this is current electricity. Static electricity means the charge is at rest. For example, if I'm having a conductor with me, so with a let us recall a very basic classes of yours. There is a thing called conductor, there is a thing called insulator. Conductor is a thing which allows electricity to pass through them. Okay, which allows electricity to pass through them. For example, copper, for example, aluminium, for example, silver, for example, water, not mineral water. or distilled water. I'm talking about water which is contained of salts. So water is also a conductor of electricity. So that is called conductor. Second one was insulator. Insulator is a thing which do not allow electricity to pass through it. That means rubber, wood, plastic. These are the examples of insulator. So I was saying that if I am having a conductor and it is having charges at rest and the particles are at rest, that comes under static electricity. Static electricity means the particles are at rest. Whereas in the current electricity, the particles are in motion. They are moving from one way to another. So the particles are in motion. So these are two kinds of electricity. Static electricity and another one is current electricity. Yes or no? Okay. Coming towards the second topic, that is called source of electricity. So before starting this topic, let me tell you the source of electricity, what it would be like, how it seems. So students, we are not able to see the size of source of electricity, what it is. Before that, let me tell you an example. For example, if I'm having a wall in front of you, this is a wall and this wall is made up of bricks. Okay, so this wall is made up of bricks. It is made up of different bricks, not by a single brick. A single brick cannot form a wall, of course. So this is made up of various bricks. So I'm going to ask you, what is the fundamental unit to form that wall? That is brick. A single brick and the layers of different bricks would form a wall. So brick is the fundamental unit. Okay. So similarly, the source of electricity is electric charge. The source of electricity is electric charge. So here I am going to write electric charge. So we will discuss, or you will be able to learn today, the definition of electric charge, types of electric charges, and finally its characteristics. Okay. So what is the electric charge? As I told you, it is the fundamental unit. Fundamental unit of what? Fundamental unit of any matter. Fundamental unit of any matter. That means I was discussing, this is a matter. Matter means which is having a mass. It is having a mass. This is a matter. If I am going to ask you, let us extract the fundamental unit, you are going to extract charge. Okay. So in the electric charge, the definition says it is a fundamental unit of matter. Fundamental unit of matter. What is the significance of this? What it is going to do? It is going to do one thing. It is the fundamental unit of matter due to which electrical and magnetic effects are produced. Electrical and magnetic effects are produced. That means by this charge we are able to see all the electrical things, like a wire is coming from that particular socket. If here is a socket, I am going to connect a charger of your phone. There would be a wire and the phone is charging over here through the pin. When you are going to connect the adapter with your phone, there would be something which gives you electrical effects. Whereas it is also going to tell us about the magnetic effects. Magnetic effects we will discuss in the next chapter, in the magnetic effects of electric current. So due to this electric charge, these two beautiful effects we are able to see. The first one is electrical effect and second is magnetic effect. I hope this is clear to you. Yes or no? Good. So Let me define once again. It is the fundamental unit of matter due to which electrical and magnetic effects are produced. Okay. After that, how we are able to represent the electric charge? How we are going to write? If I have to suppose to write this, what would be the representation? So here is the representation of electric charge. The representation of electric charge would be either by using small q or by using capital Q. Any of the symbol you can use for the electric charge. Why these two symbols we are using? We might have used only one. So for a single unit, for a single charge, we can use the smaller q. And for a group of charges, we are going to use capital Q. It is the very easiest representation because by using capital Q, we will be able to understand there is no such single charge present, and by using a small q, we will be able to know we are talking about a single charge. So here is the representation. Okay, what is the standard SI unit of electric charge? We should know how we are going to represent what is the unit. So here is the SI unit. SI unit is Coulomb. Coulomb was the name of the scientist. Okay. After the name of the scientist, it was named after scientist Coulomb. It is, the spelling is C-O-U-L-O-M-B. The representation of electric charge by capital C. There is one more interesting fact, my friends, I would love to tell you. If you are going to write any of the unit in physics, then we use only small letters. Small C-O-U-L-O-M-B. Here I am using. But for the representation of the unit, I am going to use capital C. If you are going to write any of the unit, you cannot use any of the capital character in the unit. Okay. So here is the unit. And one more thing, it is also a scalar quantity. This is the star point. It is a scalar quantity. What is scalar quantity? So before that, there are two kinds of quantities, students. One is scalar quantity and another one is vector quantity. What is a scalar quantity? Scalar quantity is that you can scale or measure. That means you can count. That is called scalar quantity. Whereas vector quantity, where you can count as well as it is showing a particular direction. If you can recall, in class 9th, there was a question, what is the difference between distance and displacement, where you were writing distance is a scalar quantity whereas the displacement is a vector quantity. That means scalar does not define any of the direction, whereas a vector quantity would define direction as well. If I'm going to ask you how many rupees you have right now in your pocket, you will take out a note. You will say, for example, sir, I am having 50 rupees. You will not be going to say, sir, I am having 50 rupees in the direction of north-south. That is not possible. Of course, that means the currency is a scalar quantity. Similarly, electric charge is also a scalar quantity. Okay. So this is the definition, representation, unit, and what kind of quantity is the electric charge. That is the source of electricity. I hope you have got this. Okay. Coming towards the characteristics or properties of electric charge. We will discuss that. Very interesting, very crucial. You need to put a very fine attention on this particular thing about the characteristics. Before starting the characteristics of electric charge, I would like to tell you there are two kinds of electric charge. What are these types of electric charge? First one and second one. Before I am going to write the names of these two charges, I would like to tell you one concept before that. What is that? I was discussing about thing that is called matter. Okay? Here I am having a matter with us. Matter is having, or it is made up of so many different atoms. Atoms you are already know with because you already studied in class 9th chemistry. Okay? So matter, any of the matter is made up of atoms. Okay? Yes or no? And after that, atoms are again divided into two different parts. Okay? The first one is electrons and second one is nucleus. So matter, which is made up of atoms, atoms which is made up of electron and nucleus. After that, nucleus is further divided into, because the nucleus is present at the center. If you can recall the structure of any atom, it was like, here is the nucleus and after that these were the shells, Rutherford atomic model. Yes. So nucleus. Nucleus comprises of two things. First one is proton and second one is neutron. This is the chain we need to remember. Matter made up of atom, atom made up of electron nucleus, and nucleus comprises of proton and neutron. What is the representation of electron? We represent electron by E with a negative sign at the top, right top. Okay? Whereas proton is represented by small p and neutron is represented by small n. Electron is negatively charged. Electron is negatively charged. Whereas proton is the positively charged and neutron is neutral. This is neutral. It does not have any positive or negative charge. Similarly, from here only we are having two kinds of electric charge with us. The first one is positive charges and second one is negative charges. Yes or no? The first one is positive charge. After the types of charges, we will heading towards the properties of charges. So, properties of charges or characteristics of charges. So, we are having four different characteristics. The first one is about the like charges and unlike charges. What are like and unlike charges? So, if we are having similar charges, for example, we are having positive and positive charges or negative charges, such kind of charges are called like charges. If we are having positive negative charges or negative positive charges, such kind of charges are called unlike charges, which are not in similar. These are, if like charges are there, they will repel each other, whereas unlike charges will attract each other. It is just like a man is attracted with a woman. Definitely they are opposite. They are unlike to each other. Similarly, they are unlike charges are also attracting each other, whereas like charges repel each other. So we are having one positive charge or one negative charge, another negative charge. They will repel each other. Okay? And if I am having one positive negative charge or negative positive charge, they will get attracted towards each other. So they are attracting each other. So this is the very first property of electric charges. Heading towards the second property of electric charge. Charges are additive in nature. Okay, charges are additive in nature. That means if I'm having a conductor with me, if I'm going to say what is the total value of charge on it, I would say let us add all the charges. That means a very simple formula I'm going to use. If I'm having 3 charges, for that I'm having Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. This is the value of total charges. Most of the students ask, sir, this is so simple, Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3, but why? So the question and the answer is Q1, Q2 plus Q3 because charges are scalar quantity. This is not possible for any other vector quantity. Okay, so let us take an example to understand this. This conductor is having 3 different charges. The first one, I am having Q1 as plus 3 coulomb, Q2 as minus 7 coulomb and Q3 as plus 5 coulomb. I am having 3 different charges. What is the total value of charge in that case? If I am saying the charges are additive, let's add all these. Total charge will be plus 3 minus 7 plus 5. So plus 3 plus 5, 8. 8 minus 7. The value will be plus 1 coulomb. It is giving the positive value. Okay. Is it possible if it is going to give us a negative value? Yes, it may give us. If I am having Q1 value as plus 3 coulomb, Q2 value as minus 7 coulomb and Q3 value as plus 2 coulomb. This is what I am having. So on adding this, plus 3 minus 7 plus 2, 5 plus 3 plus 2, 5, 5 minus 7. This will give us minus 2 coulomb. So it may also give us a positive value and it may also give us negative value. What does that mean? That means if I am having a body, if it is releasing an electron, that means the loss of electron creates positive charge on it. Okay, and if it is gaining an electron, the gaining of electron generates negative charge on it. I hope you are getting this. Yes or no? The releasing of charge, the loss of electron will give us positive charge and gaining of electron will give us negative charge. Okay, so we are having 2 properties with us. Yes or no? Heading towards the third property. The third property is charges are conserved. Charges are conserved. How I am going to define the conservation of charge? So very basic definition for that. For an isolated system, charges can neither be created nor be destroyed. That means charges, you cannot create a charge in a system. You cannot even destroy charge in an isolated system. So most of the students asked this question, so what is an isolated system? So I would like to tell you that, for example, I'm having 2 or more than 2 bodies over here and I have set a particular boundary for them. This is the restriction area for them. Restriction of what? If this body cannot exchange mass out of it and if this body cannot exchange energy out of it, then this particular system will be known as isolated system. Yes or no? If there is no exchange of mass and there is no exchange of energy, this kind of system will be an isolated system. And the most interesting fact is, within this system they can exchange electrons within it. That is okay, but out of that there should not be exchange of this. Yes or no? So such kind of system, you cannot create charge into it, you cannot destroy charge from it. This is the conservation of charge. I hope you are getting this. Heading towards the final property of electric charge, and that is very important, which says if I am having a conductor with me, for example if this is a conductor, and what is the total number of charge present on that conductor. I am repeating, what is the total number of charge present on the conductor. How I will be able to define that? So let us understand. That means the fourth property says charges are quantized. Quantized means it can be counted. Okay. So by counting, how we can count that? We are having a formula, the wonderful formula given to us, that is Q equal to plus minus NE, where Q is the total charge, E is the charge on an electron, charge on an electron, and N is the number of charges. So Q equal to NE, which tells us that Q on a system, Q is the total charge, N the number of charges present on it, E is the charge on an electron. This is how we can calculate that. That means if Q value is given, E value is given, we will be able to calculate the value of N out of it. And the most interesting fact is E, the charge on an electron, is already defined to us, and the value is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. This value is fixed. So that means by using this value, and out of these two we are only required one value, we will be able to calculate either Q or N. Okay, this is how we can calculate. Okay, to moving further, we should know that if I am having a system with me, for example I am saying that there is a transfer of electron into it, 15 electrons has been transferred. So what will be the total charge on system A and what will be the total charge on system B? If it is donating, that means it will become positive 15, and if it is gaining, it will become minus 15. Similarly, if again it donated some 200 electrons from body A to body B, it will become plus 200, it will become minus 200. Imagine I am saying it is donating 3.5 electron. So we know that electron is already a very fine particle which we cannot divide. That means if I am going to write 3.5 electron or minus 3.5 electron, that means this will be entirely wrong. That means the value of N should be an integer always. I hope you are getting this. The N value should always be an integer. Okay, let us know about or how to utilize this particular formula by using a numerical. Okay. Here is a numerical based on quantization of charge, which says a scientist performed an experiment calculating the charge on water droplets. The following are the three observations we made with regard to the charges on three droplets. That means scientists performing experiment on three different droplets, and there is an observation of total number of charges. The first observation is 1 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Second is 4 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. And the third one is 8 into 10 to the power minus 18 coulomb. we need to explain which of the three observation is or are correct. That means maybe one observation or more than one observation might be correct in this particular question. To understand or to solving any of the numerical, we need to follow a particular set pattern, that is the standard one. What is that? First of all, we need to write the given data. So we are going to write the given data, which says we are having Q1 is equals to, that is 1 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. In the second observation, we are having Q2 is equals to 4 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. And the third one, Q3, we are having 8 into 10 to the power minus 18 coulomb. These are the three different values which are given to us. We need to calculate whether these observations are correct. How we will be able to calculate the observations are correct or not? It is very easy to calculate if we are able to calculate the number of charges present on the water droplet, and that number is an integer. We know the formula Q equal to NE if we are able to find the value of N, and if the value of N is an integer, that means the observation might be correct. Let us see. So after this, and one more thing we are already familiar with, that is E equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. After that, we will write, we know that Q is equals to plus minus NE. So we have to find out the value of N for observation number 1, 2 and 3. One by one we are going to solve. For the first one, Q is equals to plus minus NE. Let us put the value of Q1. The value of Q1 is 1 into 10 to the power minus 19. This is equal to N, and this is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. These both observations are in coulomb. Now, by using simple mathematical concept, if two quantities are in multiplication, if I am going to shift into the LHS or RHS, the multiplication part will go into the denominator. So this will become N is equals to 1 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and this is also in coulomb. For the division, the coulomb will cancel out the another coulomb. So student might ask us, sir, is it possible if we can cancel out the units? Of course we can. And then after 10 to the power minus 19 will cancel out each other, and then N is equals to 1 divided by 1.6, and by calculating we will get 0.625 value of N. That means 0.625 is not an integer value. That means the first observation is not true for us. Okay? Yes or no? Okay. Heading towards the second one. For Q2, we are having Q2 is equals to plus minus NE. Let us put the value. Q2 value is 4 into 10 to the power minus 19 N into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 plus minus. This is in coulomb, this is in coulomb. Again, by the mathematics, N value is equals to 4 into 10 to the power minus 19 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Coulomb will cancel out coulomb. 10 to the power minus 19 will cancel out each other. So N value is 4 divided by 1.6. On removing decimal, it will become 40. And by cancel out each other, we will get N is equal to 2.5, which is again not an integer value. That means this observation is also not correct. Now moving towards the third observation, whether after these two wrong observations, whether the third observation is correct or not. So we are having Q3 is equals to plus minus N into E. So Q3 value is 8 into 10 to the power minus 18. This is equal to plus minus N into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Okay. Now again this will come into the denominator. It will become N is equals to N 8 into 10 to the power minus 18 divided by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Here the 10 to the power minus 18 and 10 to the power minus 19, they will not cancel out each other directly. By using exponential exponents and powers, this minus 19 will go into the numerator and will become positive. So base same, power different, they will add each other if they are in multiplication. It will become n is equal to 8 into 10 to the power minus 18 plus 19 divided by 1.6. So minus 18 plus 19 will become plus 1. That means 10 to the power plus 1. 10 to the power plus 1 means 8 into 10, that is 80. So n is equals to 80 divided by 1.6. If I am going to remove this decimal, this will become 800. 16 5s are 80. So overall the value of n is 50. And here I can see that 50 is an integer value, and this observation is perfectly alright. That means the total number of charge on the water droplet would be 8 into 10 to the power minus 18. And these two observations are wrong. So in this particular lecture, you will be able to define electricity that I told you in the very starting. Then the types of electricity, static and current electricity. Then after source of electricity, that is electric charge. The definition of electric charge, representation of electric charge, SI unit, and the quantity. It is a scalar quantity. After that, we have seen 4 different properties. The first property was the charges. If the like charges are there, they are repel, and unlike charges, they attract. Second one, they are additive in nature. Third one, charges are conserved. And the fourth one, charges are quantized. And this is how we can calculate the value of that. Okay. So I hope you understand each and every single concept of that. So thank you so much.